welcome to Gravity Blues, everyone, the podcast where we discuss and explore topics within and outside of the Earth's gravitational pull. My name's Alex. This is my co-host Ren. Ren, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. What about you?
I'm good. I'm good. It's uh, end of 2024, start of 2025. I think it's appropriate. We can take off from here and just nuke it from
Oh
orbit.
yeah. Well, that
Yeah.
I was gonna say, is this gonna be? I think it's a question.
hmm
Okay.
hmm
Obviously, take off nuke from orbit. That's what Ripley suggests in
Yes.
Alien, right?
Yep.
And my question is, should we in 2024? Should 2024 be nuked, or should we let it on the ship and see what
I'll
happens?
say like the past few years, or out of the past few years, it's been kind of a crazy year.
Yeah.
We've had assassination attempts,
Sure.
multiple
And
and
successful.
successful. Yeah, right. And we've had, you know, I feel like some things haven't been as good. Some of the movies haven't been hasn't been as a consistent year, or
Yeah.
maybe even shows too. But like stuff like for me, music and some other things I thought was a pretty high year. So I guess I'll say I'm not ready to nuke it,
Yeah.
but I guess I'm hoping 2025 is still a little bit better because it definitely
Yeah.
could. Yeah, every year could be better. There's not a
Well,
perfect year. There's
yeah.
there's some perfect year. We go
The
back.
healthy way.
Yeah, 20. Everyone's always talking about like, oh, 2016. That was like the best year ever. And I don't know. I don't remember too much from then. But
I don't know. I
um,
feel like 2016 wasn't that great.
no, no. Well, maybe yeah, maybe everyone has different perspective and
I'll
experience.
say from a personal angle, and I know that this is selfish. 2024 pretty nice.
Yeah, it
Pretty good.
wasn't too bad. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're moving up.
Pretty
Another
pretty good.
year outside of graduating and uh, paying off loans and all that stuff. So it's gonna be. I think 2025 should continuously get better
Well,
for us.
before
Hopefully.
we even get into our rankings and talking about what we've seen, what's been
hmm
the best parts of 2024,
hmm
let's just toast it.
Yes, sir.
If you're into that. So this is, I'll talk about it a little bit. We can cheers and we can
hmm
do a little. That's good radio right there.
hmm
As we're drinking the bourbon.
Kentucky,
So
straight out of Kentucky.
drove over the Christmas break and went down to Lexington, where I'm from, and we got to go to this bourbon tour, which is a place that isn't even doing tours yet, and called Bluegrass Distilling.
hmm
And I think their tour started in January, but it's cool because like we had a family friend that had a connection there that got us to get to go, and they're expanding from like a two tiny back room, like making 300 barrels a year, I think they said, and they're going up to 5,000 barrels a year.
That's a crazy jump.
Yeah.
I guess I'd expect go from like 300 to like 1,000, and then
Yeah,
maybe
then no,
5,000.
it's crazy because they have these two tiny stills they've been using for the last 10 years, and they're only that's how old they are, so very new in terms of relevant to the bourbon world. But and both of those would fit like in your bathroom. Okay, so very small operation,
Mm-hmm.
and they've bought this farm and like this they're building these like 3-story tall stills and like you're like whoa like this is an insane jump. Like, yes, they've been making stuff for 10 years, but it still feels insane. But yeah,
Mm-hmm.
great bourbon. We got to try 4 different of their bourbon, and
Mm-hmm.
then I ended up buying one of them because I was like, this is really unique. And you were saying you smelled it, and you were
Yeah.
like, wow, like that doesn't smell like anything I've had.
Yeah, because usually I'll get a whiff of one, and I'm just like, wow, that's some powerful stuff. But no, it smells pretty good. And with those kinds of bourbon, coming on the way down, you're gonna feel
The
that warmth,
Kentucky Hug.
the Kentucky hug, yes. And so that's still about the same, but it both smells and tastes good. So I don't think you could,
Yeah,
that's kind of what you want out of a bourbon.
yeah, exactly. So, but anyway, cheers to 2024.
Yeah,
Let's talk. Let's start with shows.
yeah.
Okay, best shows you've seen this year.
Ooh,
It doesn't have to be in order, so
yeah.
I think we'll go through it. We'll just feel naturally, and if you're like, wait a second, that's the one, then lock it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll say shows. Well, I guess I haven't been watch. I've been trying to get caught up on like shows from
past
past
years.
years, yeah, but
Okay.
like I'd say probably the only show that I watched that came out like this year, like I watched like all the way through consistently, I think was The Boys.
The
And
boys.
oh,
Okay.
and Bear
Oh
and
yeah.
Bear.
Bear.
That was probably my favorite, I'd say.
The bear.
The Bear is just I've loved there's the third season, I think. I
Yeah.
think it was the third season, and yeah, loved it again. Lots of Weezer in there,
Oh
and
yeah.
that was
Well,
really cool.
Weezer in the like end of the show, and then that first episode is the Nine Inch Nails guys.
Yeah, yeah. That was yeah. I always loved their. That was one of my favorite things was when they did like I love the show itself, but when they showed like just like I don't know if they were like restaurants in Chicago
Oh
where
yeah.
it's set or if it were just like just randomly throughout the country, just ones they really appreciate. But hey Andy,
Yeah.
and and yeah, I just I love that, and it's always an entertaining watch each episode. But yeah, I'd say I watched those two, and I was getting trying to get caught back up on some anime and stuff. So I
Oh
started
yeah.
watching like Attack on Titan, and I'm almost done with that. That's like
That did have a new season out,
oh,
right?
did it? I don't know. I'm like
Yeah.
I'm on the technically I think it's the last season, but I think it like came out in two parts or something like that.
Okay.
So, um, yeah, that was that's I haven't finished it yet or haven't finished what's there yet, but it's pretty awesome. But yeah, I think yeah,
Indy's getting real up. If you're listening to audio, Indy's getting real close up to the mic. He
yeah,
wants to say hi.
yeah,
You want to do a little sniff on the mic? Or...
yeah.
But yeah, that's it's been a good year. I feel like for shows, I don't watch a ton of TV anymore
Hmm.
because I'm like, there's so many movies to watch, and for me, I'm like, I can't just in terms of like doing things. You know what I mean? I'm
Hmm.
like, I can't binge stuff for 8 hours
Hmm.
in a day,
Hmm.
which is like what I feel like I have to do for
Yeah,
television if I want us to get into it. But
watch a season in like 2 days, kind of thing.
I've
Like
really struggled with that,
yeah.
you know. But I know some people like that, and if that's you, then that's you. But for the one show I did absolutely binge, and it's like kind of a limited series, so kind of a cheating
Hmm.
for an answer because it's
Hmm.
kind of movie-ish.
Hmm.
Is Ripley,
Oh, okay.
dude?
Yeah, I have not watched. I know you recommended that to me though.
I will
I gotta
say
get on. I
from the
gotta get on
top of the
Ripley.
mountain, everybody needs to go watch Ripley because
Mhm.
it's so good.
Mhm.
It like black and white. So like you're getting there. You're like, oh,
Mhm.
how good can this be? It's still stunning.
Mhm.
It's shot in Italy,
Mhm.
and every bit of it, you're like on the edge of your seat. I think there's only like 6 episodes,
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's not bad at all.
so very short, but yeah, it's awesome.
Mm.
So good. I think that's probably the best thing I saw this year in terms of television. I watched some of the Penguin show. Looked pretty good.
Yeah.
The Bear obviously was pretty fun.
Yeah.
Um, like I said, I don't watch a ton of TV. But those are probably some of the bigger standouts. I'm trying to think, was there anything else that really stood out? I haven't watched the new what's the Squid Game.
Yeah, School Game that just came out, I think, because they had like the Christmas Day NFL
Football,
games. Yeah,
yeah.
they had like people dressed up as the some of the characters in there. Or the
I've
whoever's running the Squid
say
Games. Yeah.
it doesn't. It's not as good this
Well,
time.
so weren't they doing something kind of similar to the second Hunger Games where they brought people that had already won it?
Mm,
I think that's what they. I may be
the core of the
wrong though.
12. The
I thought I heard that, or maybe that was just an idea. But I know like the guy from the first season,
yeah.
he comes back. Um, that was one thing I saw though was like they did they like the picture of him from like last season into this season. They're like
Mm,
he's like he looks so old now or whatever, and it's just like I felt like it was just him. He just cut his hair, really
oh yeah.
short. Yeah, and I guess you do go through a lot of stress in that contest.
Oh, he was in the Star Wars show, wasn't he?
Um,
Was it? I think he's
the
the acolyte. I
was
think that
he
was him.
okay?
It could be wrong, but
Yeah,
hopefully I can.
yeah.
But I watched that. That was okay.
Hmm. Well, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised because like just being like when it came out the first season, that was like the biggest show.
Oh, I remember.
It was the
Was that
biggest show.
3 years ago?
Yeah, and I actually really liked, I don't know if it's now, if it's like they're just like doing it, because it was popular and they
Oh,
need, they're just trying to get
well,
money or if
and I'm
there's an
surprised
actual.
with Netflix.
Hmm.
You and I that showed at least the first season didn't have like a ton of like CGI stuff. So I would assume that they would have gotten that show a second season out faster than that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because oftentimes in Netflix shows it'll be either we're done making this forever
Mm-hmm.
or ever a season's gonna come out like every few months. You know, and it can be
Mm-hmm.
like that. But
Yeah,
yeah, so
to be
first
like
a few
3 years.
years later is like
Yeah, yeah. You would have thought they were like, oh, we gotta get this out as fast as possible, but I guess yeah. I eventually am gonna try and check it out because and if it's not good, it's not good. It's whatever. But
yeah,
um, yeah, it's still the first season, I guess, to go through if you need to.
yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, yeah. So yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't think there was really anything else I watched. I know, like I've heard a lot of people say Severance is good.
Severance, the
That's really good.
okay. I've seen the first season. I haven't seen the second.
Yeah, because yeah, I know that
It
there
just
hasn't
came
been a
out,
lot.
right?
Yeah, that's a pretty new show. So, and like that show, and I
Yeah,
forget the one that ended last year. That or maybe it ended this year. I don't know. It's like kind of like Severance, but I can't remember the name of it. Yeah, I can't remember. But yeah, there's a few shows I want
there's
to go
other
back.
like Apple shows like the uh Jason Segel and Harrison Ford. What's that? Shrinking.
Oh, okay.
That has a new season. I've watched a couple episodes,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, that's a great show. But it's a sad show. So again, like something if I'm gonna watch TV or if I want to watch the same characters, I like need to, be in that mode for like until it's through.
Mm-hmm.
And that show is so sad that you can't do that.
Yeah, it's like
I
one
feel
at
like
a
you
time.
can't binge watch that show
Yeah,
anyway. And but yeah, it's a good show. I think that's it with TV though. I
yeah,
think for me, number one is gonna be Ripley. I think everyone should watch Ripley.
yeah.
It's almost movie, but
What's that out on
that's actually Netflix.
Netflix? Okay.
Yep.
I got to get back on my Netflix because I just like was using my parents.
Oh yeah.
But they have the thing now where it's like
Yeah.
too many households, but I can still go on it through my laptop. So I just got to like connect the laptop to like my like a HDMI cable to my
Yeah.
TV and I can get it set up. So
Dude, totally worth that.
okay.
I promise. As soon as you watch like two episodes of it, you're
Yeah.
gonna be like, "Oh, I'm hooked."
And like you said, it's only 6 episodes too, so it's like
Yeah,
you'll know
something like
pretty quickly, like if you're like, all right, I'm into this show or not.
oh, well, it's like it's a murder mystery kind of vibe,
Mm-hmm.
but it takes a couple of episodes for you to figure out how that's gonna play out. And the show is so good. There's a movie with like classic '90s actors
Mm-hmm.
from like the late '90s or early '90s, and it's really good, talented Mr. Ripley.
Mm-hmm.
It's based in the books by Patricia Highsmith,
Yeah.
which as soon as I watched the show, I was like, "Oh, this is sweet," and I went and read the first three books like immediately.
Was that a movie?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's a movie.
I think I've seen the movie, but
Okay,
I was
so the
I
movie's awesome,
yeah, I'm
but
pretty
the
sure
show
yeah.
is like stands on its own, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you've seen the movie, you're gonna go watch the show and be like, "This is a totally different like
Mm-hmm.
interpretation,"
Yeah.
and I think better. It's that good. And
Okay.
if it was a movie, I'd be like, "This is the best movie of the year."
Yeah.
So like that's how good I think Ripley is. But we can move on from
Sure.
that
Sure.
because you said Bear.
Yes.
Bear season three.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Bear season three
Yeah,
and Ripley.
that's
We
my
can
lock.
pretend like it's on the screen.
Yeah.
It's not going to be. I'm
No,
not going to do
that's all right.
that.
Maybe we'll maybe I'll throw in a little short on Instagram.
That would be cool.
Throw in some images and stuff. Of our highlights of the year.
Follow us on Instagram
Yes, at Gravity Blues Pod. Just Instagram right now, but hopefully
and
some
we're
other
on
platforms.
Instagram and then the videos on YouTube.
Yeah, and
All of them.
Spotify. We've got the
We're on
audio
Spotify for
audios
the
on
podcast.
Spotify
Yeah,
and then Apple Podcasts too.
I
Right.
think hypothetically the video could be on the podcast apps also.
Oh, okay.
I have to look into that.
Hmm.
So I'm not saying
Yeah.
definitely, but obviously listen to it.
Yeah, at least like YouTube though, like if you do have like comments or questions, you can throw
Oh,
them.
true.
You can throw them in the down below the video.
Yeah.
So
Same with Instagram.
yeah, feel free to do those too if you have any recommendations or some things you
Yeah.
want us to
If
talk
there's a
about.
show that we missed,
Yeah.
or you're like, how can Ren say that the that one show is so
Hey,
terrible.
that's all right. Yeah, and also, some of these we might be streaming, on Twitch. So,
Yeah,
maybe we'll do a little gaming after, or,
that'd be cool.
if you guys want to play games with us too, we'll see what happens with that.
Hell
But,
yeah.
but yeah, that's what we have for right now. But yeah,
Speaking of game, let's talk real quick about
yeah,
best games of the year.
yes.
Uh,
Ooh.
I think I talked about this in the last episode that we did, or 2 episodes ago, whatever.
Mm.
But controversially, game of the year this year was Astrobot,
Yeah,
which
never. I had never heard of it.
I see that to most people I talk to, and they're like, I've never heard of that.
No.
But as someone, I haven't played that, as even though it's on PlayStation, but uh, I will say like everything kind of sucked in games this year.
Yeah.
Um,
There wasn't really a good like a single player game
well,
like.
there was some like Dragon Age, the Veilguard came out this year
Okay, never
in
played that
the
before.
fall, and it was fun. It just it felt like where Dragon Age is like kind of was previously like an RPG kind of vibe.
Hmm.
This is more action, so they definitely made it more feel more like a God of War kind of
Hmm.
experience rather than like the game that was game of the year and my favorite game from last year, which was Baldur's Gate.
Okay, yeah.
The which so and I can see why like there's lots of stuff with that and how they was originally going to be like an MMO and then they switched it and then so like lots of weird things go along with that.
Yeah.
But that was really like the only one from this year. Indiana Jones,
The
which
Great Circle
on the Xbox, right?
is free. Yeah, I still have it. So I'll say this. I was planning on playing this game because it was came with the Xbox and I have the Game Pass, so it's technically free, but I still have to pay for the Game Pass, so it's like included in that. Um, but at the same time I was gonna start playing it, I started playing Marvel Rivals,
Oh yeah.
which is like
Well, that
the
just came out.
Marvel version of Overwatch. And someone that's played Overwatch a good amount in the past, I think it's so much better than that
Really,
game. At least like it's like I know all the characters and
like
I'm like
those hero
the
shooters.
heroes, and I prefer like the dynamics of the game too, and like the like you like if you're playing on a map, like the map is like destructible, so if you like shoot
I
a bridge
love
or
that.
something it just like
Okay,
falls.
that is the
Yeah.
best part about
Hmm.
these modern shooters because
Hmm.
otherwise, dude, uh, I don't play a lot of those shooter games anymore. But the hero shooter, which I think may be the original, I don't
Hmm.
know, is Team Fortress 2.
Yeah.
Did you ever play that back in the?
Yeah, I had played a little bit
But
before.
yeah, that game is awesome. But yeah, so Marvel Rivals, you think is
That's I'll say like like you said, it's very new. I didn't even play. There was like a beta or
oh
something that
yeah,
came out earlier the year, but yeah, I've been playing it the past about month, and yeah, I love it. It's like it's probably I haven't played a lot of games, but like out of the ones I have played, it's the one I've had the most fun with
yeah,
this year. But I do I want a like I guess yeah, I haven't tried out many single player games this year, so
yeah.
I'm hoping there's some, next year I can try out. And I know GTA 6 is coming
Well,
out next,
so
or maybe coming out, who
next
knows.
year or the is going to be a crazy year because I think it's like there's like some really big names that are coming out. Like Kingdom Come
Hmm.
has their sequel coming out.
Mm.
Civ 6
Yeah.
has or Civ 7. Wow, that's crazy. But so there's like some big sequels.
Hmm.
Um, a game that I usually put in way too many hours in every year is Football Manager,
Yeah.
and it got delayed this year. So usually it comes out in November,
Okay.
and they delayed it because they switched their game engine,
Hmm.
and they weren't ready to come out. So that comes out in like March,
Okay.
and so like
Hmm.
a lot of time that I would usually be spending that I like have hadn't had.
Hmm.
My sisters and I were playing Helldivers 2,
Yeah.
and that game, big surprise. I know you're not
Yeah, I was
an
gonna say
Xbox.
that's not on the Xbox yet,
It's,
right?
yeah,
It's
because
just
it's a
Sony.
PlayStation game.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, super fun.
Dang.
That game might be like I think my favorite of the year.
Yeah. Did you play Warhammer at
I
all?
haven't played the Warhammer.
Yeah, because I've seen people play that, and I haven't really
I
given
actually
that
looked
much
at
much.
there's the sales are going on right now,
Yeah.
and I went and looked, and I was like, well, I've seen stuff about the Warhammer, and it's still like 60, $70.
Yeah.
So I was like, meh, maybe I'll wait.
Yeah, I didn't know too much about that before like this year when it came out,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it's like a board game, right? Or it's like a game, like a kind of
Uh,
like isn't it kind of like a D&D kind of
yeah.
game? Okay.
I think that there is that. There's like also an element. They have a bunch of games.
Mm.
There's like I think there's books. Um, but so there's like the Warhammer is like a D&D, so it's like a fantasy thing.
Hmm.
And then they have like the Warhammer 40K,
Okay.
which I don't know a ton about this,
Yeah, I don't.
but
Yeah,
that's like their sci-fi version.
I
And
see.
so then there's like orcs in space
Yeah,
with
that's
them.
great.
I'm like, okay, sweet. But Henry Cavill is gonna make
Yeah,
a show about it.
yeah.
And, which apparently he's in, you've seen the painting videos where
Hmm.
he's painting
He
the
loves
characters.
that stuff.
What a lovely nerd.
Mm,
You know, I was thinking about this. If there's one thing that I think would, in a great way, lovely nerdy or like wonderfully nerdy is a great description for this show.
mm-hmm,
But anyway,
mm-hmm.
but so that was Helldivers is
Yeah,
good. I
Helldivers.
want to try that the game.
Mm-hmm.
Some other things like the Quidditch game that came out.
Ooh,
I don't know if you tried it.
no.
It's basically Rocket League, but it's like you're flying on a broom.
Nice.
So I was like, this is cool.
So now we have like the Marvel version of Overwatch, and now we have the
Yep,
Harry Potter
Harry Potter
version
of
of
Rocket
Rocket League.
League.
I love it. I love this.
I would say it's fun. I mean, it's Quidditch,
Yeah.
but we when we try to play it, there's three of us, and maybe you need a bigger team. But it was so hard, dude. We couldn't. We were losing like, and we're not that bad at games. We were like, okay, this might be like it's already that level
Yeah.
where, or maybe they'll come in with the servers and fix that. But
Mm-hmm.
so there's that. And the other big single player game was there's like a Star Wars
Mm.
uh, Outlaws,
Yeah.
and that game was good. A ton of bad press because I think people hate when like there's a woman that's the main character of a video
Yeah.
game,
That's about pretty much any
which
game,
I'm like
sadly.
whatever. But
Yeah.
I thought it was fun. I didn't play that much of it just because like when I was playing it, there was a little buggy. So I think they fixed that stuff now, and that it's supposed to be really like
Hmm.
a lot better. But
Yeah, love me a good Star Wars game. Even when
yeah,
they're bad, I still
no,
pretty much like them.
same. I'm you could sell me any Star Wars game and I'll buy it,
Mm.
which people will be mad because they're like, "Well, you're the reason the game sucked." But
Well,
I'm like, "Well,
well,
you know what? It's that's how it's gonna be." So,
yeah.
but
It's a win-win for us, It's like we get a
exactly.
Star Wars game, and if it's good, it's even more of a
I
win.
mean, people are like, "It's literally just the I think it's Ubisoft or they make the same game every time." It's like, but I'm like, "But it's fun." Like put Star Wars skin on any game and I'll like make a Star Wars. I guess we have Battlefront, but
Yeah,
it's like make a hero shooter, and I don't play shooters, but I'll probably play that.
yeah. I still, I remember like I always like kind of combine the two, but when I was like 8 or no, not even 8, I was like 6 at the time,
Oh
I
yeah,
think. I was playing Star Wars Battlefront
the
2 on the
OG.
PS2
Yeah,
with my sister, and we were just playing around, and she
yeah.
made me laugh so hard while we were playing it. I fell backwards, and we had this like wooden bar in our
Yeah.
basement. My head hit right on
Oh
the corner,
no.
and yeah, I like cracked my head open. I had to go to like the ER, and I was okay, but I'll always like whenever I think of like Star Wars Battlefront or any of
You
those
put your
games,
life on the
I'm
line
just
for it.
like, yeah, I put my life online. I'm a Star Wars
On to
OG. So
die honorable duty.
yeah, right. Yeah, but yeah, those games are
Oh
always
yeah,
fun.
I grew up playing that too. Like,
Hmm.
I had a buddy that we would go. Him and I would spend weekend nights like all night long playing Star Wars
Yeah.
Battlefront, Galactic Conquest.
Yep.
You get all
Oh,
this stuff.
dude, we played that the
Oh
one
yeah,
time.
when the
You
with the
were you
remake.
were destroying me in that, but yeah,
Yeah, I mean, there was a time when that was everything we played.
that's fair.
So
Yeah, it was
yeah,
like muscle memory for you.
yeah, that game's awesome. The remakes are okay,
Yeah.
but anyway, we can move on. That
Yeah.
didn't come out this year.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah. So those were the big things. I
Yeah.
think the best. I think Helldivers I think was the most fun,
Hmm.
and they've just added like a new enemy type.
Hmm.
People got really upset though. With Helldivers was really popular when it
Yeah.
first came out. And then like a couple months in, it was like so popular. We bought it like a week after it came out.
Hmm.
My sister and I were playing it, and we got it and couldn't even get in because the demand for
Oh,
servers
oh,
was so high. You had to sit there and wait, and
wow.
we like let it sit for hours, and we weren't even able to play it. That's how big.
That's
Yeah,
yeah. Their servers probably weren't
but
ready
now
to
you
handle that.
can, and
Yeah.
but yeah, yeah, it's so fun.
Mm. They have it on PC.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
that's what I was gonna say. Controversially, so PlayStation it came out and it was really popular, and then PlayStation was like, "Ooh, we're gonna capitalize on this and make all the PC people. You can only play this if you have a PlayStation account."
Oh
And the
wow.
PC people got pissed off because
Yeah.
they were like, "Well, no, we don't want to give you our emails."
Mm.
Which I'm like,
Oh, well, yeah.
"You shut
I
up."
thought it'd be I thought it'd be more for a
No,
PlayStation account.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
but it's like a very dumb like
Yeah.
we don't want to give you our information, and it's like
Doesn't
deal
doesn't
with
doesn't
it.
Steam already have your
Exactly.
information?
I'm like,
It's like the same thing.
yeah. So
They're gonna sell it to different countries.
whatever, dude.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I was like,
Ugh.
okay, that's dumb,
Hmm.
but yeah, I thought it was really fun. And they've added stuff new now, so it's still getting better.
Yeah.
But yeah, super fun, and it is crossplay. So if you got it, we could
Yeah,
play.
I want to my next big purchase I want it to be a PC, but I don't know which route I want to go
Mm,
down and
mm.
yeah, I gotta think that one through. But it would be if I could get that by the end of next year, that's like one of my I guess I want to say one of my resolutions. I guess it's more of a goal, not really a
Yeah, yeah,
resolution,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I'd like to be able to have something like that set up, but yeah, who knows? Maybe Helldivers will come to Xbox, but I think that's pretty unlikely
Yeah.
for right now at least.
Well, there we go. We
Hmm.
can run the games off there.
Yeah.
I'll say Helldivers in your top game.
I'll just say Marvel Rivals because that's just
Helldivers. There
I've been
you
playing that a lot. So
go. Both shooters, but his is PvP, mine's PvE, so
yeah.
little different kind of vibes.
Hmm.
Um, dude, it's okay. Anyway, it's Helldivers. Do you know anything about it? It.
I've seen these crazy clips of it, and it's like and they'll
Have you
put like
seen Space Troopers or whatever?
yeah, I love
It's
yeah
that.
it
It's
literally
that.
that's what I imagine like right when I saw them like this
Yeah.
is literally Space Trooper just shooting giant bugs and like
Yeah.
all this and I love the
Managed democracy and
yeah,
stuff.
and like people will do these like they'll like before like starting like a mission or
Oh
whatever
yeah.
they are, they'll
Do the
like they'll
speeches.
do the speeches. And I love any game when you
It's
got
so fun.
people like amped up in multiplayer
And
and they're just
everybody's running around with a
like,
cape.
"Grr." Yeah.
Also, really cool mechanic that I haven't seen ever before. It's like you have a gun in the game shooter, but when you reload, you like drop your clip. So you don't like
Hmm.
you don't have full ammo.
Hmm.
Like you have to be really careful with your ammo.
Yeah.
So like you reload and you have like only a couple bullet shot, you lose that whole clip out and you throw it
Hmm.
down. I was like,
And
that's a super cool concept that
more realistic and
you don't see it
no.
in a lot of games. So
Yeah, that's just another way of you got to be smarter.
yeah.
In some games, yeah, you just spray and pray, and
Well, no, like every COD game I played, like you reload and you just have full ammo.
yeah, like with some of them, it's like some I found with some of those games, it's like you sometimes have perks where you can pick up other people's like ammo and it like counts towards yours,
But
but
I know
like
you can run out. But
yeah,
I'm
you can
saying
run out. Yeah, but yeah,
it's based on bullets and
yep,
not clips.
yep,
Where you
yep.
know what I mean. So like I don't know. It's just like a really small thing that I
Hmm.
really appreciated
Yeah,
in that.
just like a little detail they didn't even really need to implement, but
Yeah.
they did to just add to
Yes. Exactly.
the game,
So
which I love.
we uh let's move on.
Yeah.
Let's talk real quick about music.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So best music for 2024.
Yeah.
Um.
Yeah. Here I got a little list. I'll run through.
Okay.
I got like six of them. I won't go into too much detail. Um. Yeah. So I'll like make a list and like I usually listen to a good amount of different stuff. So I'll usually have about like 25 albums, but like these are probably like the six I like like the most.
Okay.
And first this was like a surprise like release, was not expecting it, but or was kind of expecting it, but it kind of just came out of nowhere. Was Kendrick Lamar's GNX, which just came out last month November, just like randomly dropped it on a
Mhm.
Friday. It was like posted something like on Twitter and then like an hour later just dropped it. I was just like what is going on? But it kind of makes sense cuz he's
That's your number one.
no, this is six. This
Okay.
is
Okay.
six. Yeah. So and yeah, it was just like he's doing the Super Bowl this next year, so
Dude,
it kind of makes
I
sense.
fully live under a rock.
Yeah.
Kendrick is doing
Yeah.
the Super Bowl.
Kendrick's doing the Super Bowl. Yeah. So
Did he,
I'll say
he beat Drake in
oh yeah, he beat Drake out. Yeah.
the.
Just like in the rap disses or whatever.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah, but no, just about this album, I guess is like this is like his most like I guess I wouldn't say positive, but like a lot of his albums, he's just talking about a lot of like kind of some depressing stuff, like important stuff. But
Yeah.
this one was more like, I'm on top of the world kind of thing. So it was kind of cool to see him like not be so down on himself and about other things too. So yeah, a lot of fun songs and
And so just because
hmm
like I said,
hmm
I live under the rock
yeah,
in this world.
yeah,
Uh, but like I remember when we were in high school,
yeah.
like was that sophomore year of our high school
We had
spelling.
like Damn came out.
Damn came out,
Yeah, yeah.
and that was like the biggest album. And I was aware of that,
So
even not listening to that.
mhm.
But I don't. I feel like I haven't heard a ton about this,
Yeah, so
even
this
though.
is I'll say this about so this is like Damn like the stuff he did on Damn is very close to this.
Okay.
I think he did like so Damn has some of those like R&B kind of songs, like a little bit slower songs, not really that much rap. He did like those a few songs on here like that, but I
Yeah.
thought he did it like better. Like some of those songs I thought were okay, but some were good on Damn. But he has like it's like how this album set up is like he'll have like a really like energetic song like when you throw it like a club or in your car and it go crazy,
Oh yeah.
and then the next song is like this like kind of R&B kind of
You
smooth
going
song.
crazy in the club?
Yeah, dude, I might have to for some of these songs,
I see. I see.
Yeah, yeah, but no, super fun album. Yeah, and then yeah, number 5 for me, I had Chat Pyle's Cool World. Chat Pyle is like a they mix like sludge metal and noise rock, and yeah, this is their second album, and yeah, this one was like a little bit more compared to their last album, a little bit more like I don't know, like got it was a little more goth in there, and
Okay.
yeah, it was like the name of it's Cool World, but it's like kind of being like ironic because the stuff they talk about is like just like how messed up the world is pretty much,
Yeah.
and it's just like their lead singer is like very chaotic, and like there's the lead single is it's called I Am Dog Now, and like half of the lyrics are him just like barking out I am dog now, and which I think is a play like dog backwards is God,
Yeah.
and like the music video is like he's like this like sermon or like like he's this priest or pastor, and he's just like yeah just very going crazy. But yeah, a lot of the songs on here are just like very heavy and um, very noisy, and it's like that the whole way. There's one song on here too that sounds like kind of like Nirvana, which is
Yeah.
actually like my favorite off of it because it's just like it's very different from some of the. It's like there a lot of it sounds like Nirvana, and then there's just like a breakdown in the middle
Hmm.
of it with these like death metal growls. I'm like, this doesn't sound like anything they've done before, but it like fits it perfectly.
Yeah.
So
Are these the guys you tell me you just saw?
yeah, I just saw them, and yeah, it was their first time through Ohio, and yeah, they didn't disappoint. They're just like they're like these like 40-year-old dudes or like mid 30s 40-year-old dudes from like Oklahoma,
Yeah.
and they just like got big on the scene like 3 years ago.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, with their first album, and they had some like EPs before that, but yeah, they're like they're probably my favorite like metal band out right now, like that like newer metal band, that's like just kind of getting into the scene, and yeah, they've been blowing up a good amount too. So yeah, definitely recommend that if you like heavy, sludgy, fun stuff. That will like make you want to really good for working out too.
Yeah.
That's my go-to. And then number 4, I had Adrian Linker's Bright Future. She's I don't know. Have you listened to Big Thief before?
I don't.
They're a folk group, um, like indie folk group, and she's the lead singer. But yeah, she did her like own solo album this year, and she's like a very unique like kind of folk voice.
Hmm.
And a lot of the songs are just kind of her like with the guitar, and there's other instrumentation as well, but yeah, a lot of it's just kind of fixated on her voice, and like a lot of the songs on here are about like love and like relationships, and or also like things with her family too. So just a really like some parts sad, but sometimes some parts sweet too.
Hmm.
Yeah, so really recommend that if you like some folk or just something kind of like nice to listen to. Not like the previous album, which is like all despair.
You're hitting like every
I
genre.
know that's what I try to mix it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, the next one though, very different.
Okay.
I have Knocked Loose. You won't you won't go before you're supposed to. This is like hardcore, beat down hardcore mixed with like metalcore, and like it's crazy how big this band has gotten. They just
Yeah.
performed live on like Jimmy Kimmel, which was like
Oh, is that who?
that's who
Yeah.
performed live on Jimmy Kimmel.
They
Yeah,
got in trouble. Yeah.
yeah. The Jimmy Kimmel fans were mad. They were started crying when they saw this band perform. But yeah, there's just another just awesome heavy album. There's like crazy breakdowns on every song. So
Yeah.
another good like album for the for the gym, and I've been following them for the past few years. So it's been really cool to see them like get really big on like both like in metal and then outside of metal too, and also hardcore because that's kind of like what they're rooted in. So,
Hmm.
but yeah, their lead singer is like a lot of people like him or don't like him because he has a very like some people say he sounds like SpongeBob because he's like a really high pitched voice. But I don't know. I think it's more like a dog like barking at you. So
Okay.
yeah, it's pretty. It's very. They don't have really a song that's like slow at all. So it's like very just like in your face
Yeah.
and like pissed off kind of thing. But
Yeah.
yeah, and then number two, I have Blood Incantation with Absolute Elsewhere. This is like progressive death metal. So it's like there's some parts in their songs where it's just like you know OG death metal, like just nice riffs, and then they'll go into like a whole different section where it sounds like Pink Floyd
Oh
or like
yeah.
some like space rock or something. So yeah, very like existential album. And yeah, I've been following too like on how they recorded the whole thing, and yeah, really like really unique album that's like they've been like making albums I think or they've been making music since like the early 2010s, so
Hmm.
I think this is their best album so far that I've listened to, or at least more like most fleshed out. And they have it like split into two parts, or they call it two tablets, the album. And the first tablet they made like a short film for it, like accompanied with the music, like the whole thing playing through. It is awesome. Like they
Yeah.
released the first part before the full album came out. I was just like, oh man, I can't wait for the second part. I will say, I think the first half of the album is stronger than the second half. I think the first half is like probably the like one of the most like perfect like death metal like recordings I've ever heard, and
Yeah.
the second part is still good too. But yeah, I'd say like from what I've listened the most this year, I think I've listened to this or the chat pile the most out of everything. So yeah, I don't know like I don't know if like how much like because they usually like they don't release a ton of music at a time. It's usually
Yeah.
like they'll focus in on one thing and then go to the next. So I don't know what they're gonna do next because like the last album they had was like it was just all synths. It wasn't even like it was like more of like a space synth kind of thing. So
Hmm.
yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do next, but I really like this album. Um, and the last album I had was probably my favorite one of my favorite rock bands of all time. Godspeed You, Black Emperor's No Title album.
Mm.
Um, that came out in like early October.
Mm.
It's funny. I think three of these albums on here all came out on the same day.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah, it was like October 10th or 11th or something like that. But
Good day for you.
yeah, so like this band, so they're a post-rock band that do like they'll throw in like classical music in their stuff, but they're
Yeah.
also a very like political band too. So kind of a big emphasis was, the things going on in Gaza right now between like Palestinians and Israel. So that was like they don't have any lyrics either. So
Okay.
it's like all more just like the emotion you feel from the music and like
That's cool.
everything else. So yeah, I wasn't able to listen to it a ton because it is just a very like powerful album. So you don't like it is kind of a hard listen because there's like some parts that are just like very like harrowing, but also like
Yeah.
hopeful and beautiful at the same time. So
Wow.
yeah, and they've been making music since like the early '90s. So like
Yeah.
for this to be like as good as it is, like even then is kind of crazy to me. So yeah, I definitely would say that's my number one pick. So
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't know if that took a long time, but yeah, I
No,
was just like
dude.
I was a lot better than going through like 25 of them. I don't know how
Yeah.
like some of these guys do it. I'm like I feel like I'd like talk for like 2 hours
Man.
trying to go through like multiple things at a time. So yeah. Um
I think that was a great description,
thank you,
Journey. Like
thank you.
those are some definitely some albums I haven't heard, so I'm
Yeah.
gonna have to go check them out.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
How about you? Were there any ones that like stuck out to you?
Uh, I don't know. Instead of albums, I'll do some shows that I saw this year.
Mm-hmm.
So one does have a new album, The Red Clay Strays. I saw twice this summer.
Mm-hmm.
They were awesome. We saw them.
Yeah, yeah,
They
that was
they
a
were
great
they
show.
were really fun. Really cool. Like kind of a new sound, like that southern rock kind of vibe.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've seen others that are similar to that, but They definitely have like kind of a more unique vibe too.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah, some others like there's some stuff I'm excited about. I really liked the I've talked before about King Giz and Lizard Word, their album that came
Yeah,
out.
yeah. Flight,
Flight
flight
the
B something
B
seven
seven,
four one
yeah, whatever.
A. I think. Yeah.
B
We'll say flight
whatever
B. We'll say flight B.
B7. Yeah. Anyway, it's great. It's a great album. Wasn't my favorite by them. Like
Mm-hmm.
there's some others that I'm like, damn, like that's my favorite album. But yeah, very good. I'm excited for their orchestral stuff that's coming out because
Mm-hmm.
it was gonna kind of be like a B side of that album, and
Mm-hmm.
they've switched it into like doing like an orchestra thing. They were a great show that we saw too up in Cleveland.
Yeah, that was
Um,
rocking. That was a rocking show.
yeah, it was sweet. Others got to see Chris Stapleton in
Mm-hmm.
Kentucky.
Mm-hmm.
He's awesome. Like
Mm-hmm.
really, really, really cool
I
show.
want to
That
see him.
everything he does, you're like, okay, he's just stunned on the guitar and
Mm-hmm.
having a good time. Marcus King, similar. I saw him earlier that same day.
Mm-hmm.
Same kind of vibe. Billy Strings
Yeah.
up here in Columbus. Oh my gosh! Like,
Mm-hmm.
I we saw him up at the shoe, and then after him was uh, I'm not even gonna say. I don't remember some like a generic kind of country guy,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, you should have ended with Billy Strings. Billy Strings was
Mm-hmm.
like one of the coolest shows I've
Probably
been
the
to.
most rocking show.
Yeah, it
Like,
was so
yeah,
rough,
yeah,
like way more than you think. Because I haven't listened to a ton of his music before that, but then I was like, okay, this is really awesome.
yeah. And probably the time like he performed compared to the final person was probably not even wasn't even
He was
close.
second. He was second
Okay,
or
so
second to last.
still was probably like pretty long then, but yeah, he probably should have had
Yeah, no, absolutely.
full
Like
time.
we all said because there was like five people that performed that night, and we were like, if the show had ended with Billy Strings, everyone would have felt like they got their money's worth.
Yeah,
And then yeah, the other show, and then we were
and
like,
you just kind of leave it, and you're like,
I was like, that's fine,
yeah,
but I would have rather have listened to more Billy Strings.
yeah. You're like, I'm not gonna do that again, you know.
Yeah,
But
definitely not. Like,
maybe if Billy Strings is
dude,
the headliner,
yeah, so that was the Buckeye Country Fest or whatever,
yeah.
Super Fest. This year, the lineup, I'm definitely not gonna go.
Oh,
It's like
I haven't even seen
it's
it.
the headliner is Jelly Roll.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah. I don't know.
I haven't listened to any of his stuff, but I'm
I haven't
like this.
listened to any of his stuff, and he has been getting like pretty big, but
Yeah, ton of attention.
yeah, but yeah, I don't know. Is I guess I'm not too much in the like the country sphere too much. You know, like I don't know if he's
See, I feel
is
like
he worthy of like getting that?
I don't know because I don't. I mean, I don't listen to that kind of country. I
Yeah,
feel like I don't listen to that. That like side of it,
yeah,
and so maybe he's really good on that side. But
yeah,
I'm like, he hasn't cracked my, you know what I mean, my
mhm,
listen sphere or whatever.
yeah,
So I'm like, I don't know. But other shows, I saw Weezer. Weezer are my favorite bands ever.
yeah,
Got to see them here in Columbus. They were pretty fun. They had like a whole like they're doing their Blue album anniversary. It's like third year.
yeah. They play the whole thing
So they played
then.
the whole thing
Oh
back to
yeah,
front, and it was like them getting on a spaceship and landing on the blue planet,
that's
and
sweet.
it was a cool show.
I love the that closer for the album. Only in like my dream or I can't
Oh
remember
yeah,
or in my dream or something. Yeah, I
dude,
love that
the
song.
bass on the song,
Yeah, yeah, dude.
sweet.
That little breakdown part. Yeah.
Um, but the openers, the one of the openers was really good. Flaming Lips were fun, but the
Yeah.
first opener was Dinosaur Jr.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if there was something wrong with his guitar,
You
but
could
there
hear
was like every time he'd go into solo, he'd hit his pedal and it was like just we were like fourth row or
it. Yeah.
something, so we were pretty close,
Oh,
but we were like our ears are
yeah.
exploding like
Piercing.
literally like this
Yeah. Well, it
because
definitely was worse for you too if you're front row. Probably in
yeah,
the back, it still probably sounded
it
terrible.
was
But
it was screeching like
yeah.
not even guitar sound, and I like some harder guitar,
Yeah.
but it was not. You couldn't hear any
That,
like sound. It was just
Yeah,
screech.
that's always the worst part too, especially like I said with that being it was a band you didn't really I don't know if you listened
I've
to it
listened a
a
little bit
little
of
bit,
Dinosaur
but it
Jr.
wasn't like a band you were going to see. Like I was at the Incarceration Festival in yeah,
Incarceration.
Incarceration
Yeah.
my bad. And I was there last summer and one of the band I was only there for one day and one of the bands I wanted to see was Kill Switch Engage. Um and I like they were like like right before the main headliner went, and then they were on a different stage. So I had to like run over there, and it was crazy, but I was still able to get it like an okay spot. But it was like not even halfway through, like a third of the way through. It's like the guitar, I don't know if like something with the like speaker blew. I don't know if the speaker had blown out or something
Mm-hmm.
like that. Um, but like you could just not hear the guitars anymore, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like so distracting, and it was just like
Mm-hmm.
everyone else, you could tell everyone in the crowd was just like so dead because you couldn't really hear what was going on. So,
Yeah,
um,
that sucks.
yeah, but like I still had a good time watching it, but it was just like, oh man, you know,
Yeah,
like you
you
would
want
think,
to see them at their full.
yeah, right. And if it was something where it blew out, like I guess you can't really like fix that. But if it was something fixable, you know, I don't know. I feel like you should have someone like on standby, like just standing in the crowd, being like, all right, that doesn't sound that good. Usually you have um, the engineer or whoever's like working the sound for you
Yeah,
is usually able to hear it. So yeah, I don't know, but yeah, that's the worst when
yeah.
it's just
Something's not going right.
technical difficulties
Yeah,
and
it happens.
yeah.
You know. One last band I'll say,
Hmm.
or not a band, but an artist.
Hmm.
I got to see Ben Soley here in Columbus, and he's from Lexington, and
Oh,
he's
okay.
he's a cellist and singer.
Hmm.
But oh my gosh, awesome show.
Hmm.
There's only like 20 people here,
Yeah.
and which is crazy because I know he's not known everywhere, but in Lexington, like his shows sell out immediately, or like
Hmm.
they fill, and
Hmm.
there a lot more people would be there than the 20 that were there in Columbus. And but he's so cool, like storyteller. Like, I promise you haven't seen if you look him up, you haven't heard the music like that. You haven't seen somebody like that,
Yeah.
and like the mastery he has over his instrument and the voice that he has, are really special.
Mm.
It was a really cool show, very intimate with that many people in there. And
Yeah. I love shows like that where it's
yeah,
just like very small and like I know like sometimes they'll even interact with you like afterwards and
yeah.
like you know you say hey what's up or like they'll be at the merch table or and you know and you can talk to them a
Oh
little
yeah,
bit.
we got to do
That
that. We
that's
got to
that's
share
always
some.
that's always really cool. So
Yeah,
that's why I was like whenever I go to like a hardcore like death metal show that's like usually the vibe. It's like you know you get to it's usually not in any super big venue so you can just
yeah,
like kind of like talk whatever to them when you're checking out the merch. I always get merch, man. It's bad. I'm like I gotta get at least one piece of merch, you know, if I go to a show, and it's always I feel like it's always a black shirt, and it's never like
yeah.
a different color. I don't know why. I need to like
Well, you gotta get the band shirt, right?
yeah. Oh
Yeah,
right, yeah. But yeah,
black is
it's
gold.
like it's always like the shirt that's not black is just sold out in my size. So I'm like, oh, I
No,
gotta get the black shirt.
that's happened at the King Giz show when we went and saw him.
Yeah,
There's like the one that I wanted
you wanted the
was
mushroom shirt.
yeah the mushroom one, and they were like sold out all of them. And so I was like, okay, I'll get the other one, and
Yeah.
then we got ended up getting the same one.
Yeah, that's all
Yeah,
right. We can
yeah, we
twin. We
twin.
can twin the next time we
Oh
go
yeah,
see him.
that'd be sweet.
We're like, who are these goobers? Like, just
Which, by the way, I told you this. I said
yeah,
this to you yesterday, but
yeah.
I feel jokingly, but I feel betrayed as a fan of King Gizzard
Hmm.
because my expectation is to get more than one album a year, and
Yeah.
we only got one this year, which was a good album.
More,
But I
more,
was like,
more than three, probably. You know,
yes,
like,
I want like 4 albums a year every year. Is that too much to ask
yeah.
for?
They're
Probably,
they're
but
just they gotta they're saving they're
I
gonna
do
bless us well.
I do appreciate the
Maybe that's
4 albums.
why we should nuke this year. We only got
Oh
one
yeah,
King
only
Giz
one
album.
King
We
Giz
can we
album.
can nuke it.
The year's ruined
Yeah.
though. I do feel like it's awesome that you can listen to all their live shows. Like every single live show
Yeah.
they do, they put out the recording of it, which I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
it makes up
And
for
it's
a
usually
little bit.
the live. It's usually different. The shows
Oh
are
yeah,
different from one to one.
they're all different, and
Yeah.
even song by song, you're like, they played that in a different way
Hmm.
than I've ever heard before. So it's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, like I had met someone at one of the shows I went to and I was talking to him and he was at the King Giz show that we went to in
Yeah,
Cleveland, but he also was at one I think in Detroit. And yeah, he was telling me just like the differences between the two and he was like, "Yeah, the Cleveland one was so much more rocking cuz a lot of stuff they played
yeah,
at least at the end of the show was like from Petro Dragonic." So, but like I'd still would like we got that experience, so I would be cool with like if we
yeah,
saw them again, you know, being something totally different, you know,
yeah.
and seeing what they can
They
cook
do
up.
like the silver chord stuff. It's like EDM,
Yeah,
and yeah, it's like those shows are really cool too. And you're like, they get really into it. But anyway, sweet
yeah,
band.
yeah,
We should they give us more.
yeah.
Give us more.
Mm.
25 plus albums aren't enough.
Nope, I need
But
50.
and yes, every year. No.
Give me 50 more.
But okay, we can move on from music because I
Yeah,
think we've done a
yeah,
good amount there.
yeah.
Let's talk real quick. Wrap up our our discussion of earthly concerns
Yep.
with film.
Yep.
Okay, so just some off the top, what stood out to you so far?
Well, we just saw Nosferatu.
Yep,
That was
we
great.
did. We're as a peek into
Yeah.
how the sausage gets made.
Yes.
Uh, we've just done a full special on Nosferatu since we just saw it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, don't think we like wore the same clothes like for the same
that's true.
for
That's true.
the same pod. So yeah, it's all one sitting. But yeah, we just did that and yeah, like we mentioned in that, we both liked it a lot.
Yeah,
So
very good.
um yeah, I don't know.
Is it the top thing you've seen this year?
It would be in the top. I don't know if I'd put it at I don't know. I might honestly. I don't know. I think it's too early though for me to say it's top.
Yeah,
But at the same time, like I don't know, like movies. There's a few I still want to see. Like I still want to see The Brutalist. I want
yep.
to see that.
I just watched Nora last week,
Yeah, you
which
mentioned that. I want to see that.
I think, unlike, well, so here's the thing. So if we're talking about like what I think is going to get awards,
Hmm.
and I do think Lily Rose Depp, as we mentioned on the other episode,
Hmm.
should get a nomination.
Yeah.
Um, I think it's pretty much locked that Mikey Madison will win the Best Actress award.
Hmm.
I mean, Lily Rose Depp's awesome, so I would love to see her win it. But the thing is, in general, with horror movies, and I
Hmm.
wonder if Nosferatu is too like it stretches that line too
Yeah.
closely. They don't get nominations for things.
Yeah.
They don't horror movies don't get awards.
Nope.
And this year, the two of the best action performances, Lily Rose Depp and I'd say Demi Moore
Hmm.
in The Substance,
Hmm.
which I think is a movie that you might enjoy.
Yeah, I gotta watch
But
that too. I know there's a
but
lot of
both of
body
them,
horror.
yeah,
Yeah, body
but
horror stuff.
both
Yeah.
of them, I'm like, these are two top
Mhm.
actresses that probably should get something,
Yep.
and I don't know if they'll even get nominations because of the genres that their movies are in. But
Yeah, I know. I know. Probably just because how much of a spectacle it was too. I wouldn't be surprised if Dune got some things as well.
well, so that's another thing.
Hmm.
But I don't see Zendaya winning.
No, oh no, no. I well maybe I don't know, but Timothy Chalamet. I
I
don't
bet
know
he'll
if
get a nom.
he'll get a nom. I don't know if he'll win. I'm trying to think of who would win Best Actor. Um,
Yeah.
who would get the noms for that outside of him?
So this is the thing. Like this year, I think compared to last year has been a slower year in terms of good
Hmm.
movies.
Yeah.
So there's been a lot of bad this year. But some of the good stuff. I really liked the Fall Guy. I think a lot of
Oh
people
yeah,
thought
with Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan
Yeah.
Gosling.
Oh Ryan. Yeah, Ryan Gosling, not Ryan Reynolds.
I know he was in like
He was in.
Fall Guy.
Yeah, he was in that. Yeah,
but
same thing.
but yeah,
Yeah, Aaron
uh,
Taylor Johnson was in that
he's the
too.
bad guy in
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
But yeah, it was like that's a really good movie. In like I think better than you'd expect it to be because it like the marketing I think and the kind of movie it is.
Yeah.
You think it's gonna be like a cheesy action movie, which
Hmm.
it kind of pretends to be,
Hmm.
but it's really like a love letter to film in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
And so there's a
just
lot of
like man.
scenes where they're going like, what about she's it's about making a movie,
Hmm.
and the director Emily Blunt is the character, and she's awesome.
Hmm.
And she's like a director in the movie, and she's like pitching ideas to Ryan Gosling's character, and she's like, "What about this?" And like going through things, and you're like, and then they start doing it on the movie. Like there's a scene where she's like, "What do you think about split screen effects? Like, is that a gimmick?" And then they do a split screen, and
Yeah,
it's like it's really cool,
yeah.
and it's like okay. If you're like looking for that, like this could be a good movie. I don't think it'll win best film,
Hmm.
but I liked it a lot. I don't think any of them will win stuff for that, but
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't think this will be. I don't expect it to be nominated.
it doesn't have to be
Think.
nominated.
Oh
But
no,
it's
I'm just
good.
saying. Just because like
Yeah, yeah.
this is also like a horror. I saw Long Legs.
Oh yeah.
I really loved that. I watched it on a plane, which was kind of uncomfortable because like there were some scenes in there. I'm like, people can see what I'm watching right now. I'm like, this is
A little
I
gory.
don't know why this is. Yeah, it was almost like some parts. I'm like, well, why is this allowed to be showed on a plane?
Yeah.
But I was like, it's not super long, and it's the only movie that looks interesting. Um, and yeah, that was really good. Nicolas Cage plays like this serial killer,
Hmm.
and he's like just it real. That's one of the best like
I think
performances I've
somebody
seen
was
from him.
telling
It's
me
pretty good.
he's not gonna do any more serial killer
Yeah,
roles.
I yeah, I'd seen that too because he's just like I don't want to play someone that is just like just like kills people, you know, the
Like
kind of thing.
your whole thing is you do weird movies.
Yeah,
So man,
that might be his weirdest, like
wow.
at least like weirdest character he's done. Like
Yeah.
it's very similar to that one character in
Andy.
Silence of the
Oh,
Lambs.
okay.
What's the one that keeps people in the well? Um,
Okay.
I forget the serial killer's name in that. But kind of reminiscent of that a little bit, but more even weirder, you know. Um, but yeah, that was really good. That's kind of like an art house kind of horror movie
Yeah.
though. Yeah, that's probably not gonna see anything. But yeah, I know like a lot of people have been talking about that, so I watched it. I was like,
Yeah, I could see.
I see why people liked it a lot, and yeah,
Yeah.
very tense parts of the movie.
Thinking back to the beginning of the year, like we're talking about Dune, which is another one where you're like, this feels like a really big franchise movie, which it kind of is, but because it's Denis Villeneuve, like it's almost
Hmm.
more like arty and like it. I had to gotta go rewatch that because I was like, this is an awesome movie, and then it's because it's such a big film movie,
Yeah,
like you kind of rate it less than it is,
yeah.
you
Well,
know?
I'm also I kind of get like right now, like I kind of get like Christopher Nolan vibes from him at least. You
Yeah,
know, just like with these big movies, but it is kind of done in a unique way a little
yeah,
bit, you know, a unique vision. So I really love that movie. I don't know if I'd say it's like my favorite of the year, but like I think like what he's doing with that, you know, the first two movies at least has been really well made. So
yeah.
but
I mean, there's been some movies I didn't like. A lot of people really liked Challengers, which is like the
yeah,
tennis movie.
another
Or
Zendaya movie
Zendaya's in that.
and
Yeah,
everything.
I did not like that. But Luca Guadagnino, whatever,
Hmm.
um, he just did one with Daniel Craig called Queer,
Okay.
and that is I think a better movie in a
Hmm.
lot of ways. Same. It has both of them have Trent Reznor doing the soundtrack. So
Yeah. Oh, I love
yeah,
Trent Reznor.
but in both of them are very like about like ooh we like brush shoulders and now it's like this whole moment where everyone's going that kind of thing. But
Hmm.
it's like the challengers didn't do it for me where that other one did. I don't think Queer will win anything either.
Hmm.
But I'm trying to think. Megalopolis came out this year.
Nah.
Flop. People didn't like it.
No.
I think it's not great, but the my thing on that is like I enjoyed watching it. Like I've said before, with Adam Driver, I'll watch anything and he's in, and I'll probably think it's good. Aubrey Plaza is great in it,
Yeah.
but the thing is, like, I get it if you're Francis Ford Coppola, he financed the movie himself.
Yeah.
If he wants to go makes his own thing and it's original and even if it's terrible, he did it. He paid for it. Like, you kind of gotta respect his vision, even if
Yeah.
you think it's not good.
I guess like you know because he was pretty much making this over a pretty long time span,
Yeah,
right?
like
Like
40 years
I
and
guess does it like you know that other people I haven't watched it yet, but I know you didn't really think it was you thought it was just okay, right? Or like
it's terrible,
terrible.
but
I guess my question is, does that make it
not the
even?
same way that a bad movie is.
Yeah,
Like it's a
does
bad movie, but I'm like,
yeah.
its vision is there.
Yeah, I guess does that make it even worse though when you like know how long this was in the process? Like it took this long to make and it still came out this way. Like does that make
See,
it
I
worse or do
don't
you
know
think that makes
because
it better?
I think some people are like I've seen people say they're like this is why you can't let a director go do his own thing because he's gonna make something terrible.
Huh.
And it's like you have to have some kind of someone saying,
Hmm.
"Don't do that. That's bad.
Hmm.
Try something else." But I'm like, he paid for it, so
Yeah.
like this is the movie he wanted to make,
Yeah.
and I get it.
Yeah.
You don't if somebody doesn't like it. I don't think it's a
He,
great
I
movie.
guess he was happy enough to, you know, to release it too. He
Yeah,
didn't have to like if he didn't think it was good, he didn't have to, you know,
yeah,
or if he didn't think it was worthy of being shown, he didn't have to. So,
and it's got a kick-ass cast,
yeah. Yeah,
and
Adam Driver.
it's a little bit and like I mean Aubrey Plaza,
Yeah.
like those are the main two, but you
Hmm.
got like Shia LaBeouf doing weird things,
Yep.
which I'm like, where else has he been?
Hmm.
No, but yeah, it's a little bit of a weird, bizarre one. Trying to think of the other ones that come out that I was like, this has been a year.
Oh, did that Ricky Stenicki
Ricky
movie?
Snicky,
That actually
it's
might.
really
Did that
fun.
come out this year?
Yes, January.
That's my favorite movie of the year.
I
That's my
saw
favorite
that.
movie of the year.
I remember watching that and I was like, this is a 5-star movie.
Yep.
Like nobody's gonna. that's not gonna win anything.
This is like
People are not
John
talking about it.
Cena's like arc is just it's
Yeah,
a
no,
crazy arc.
that's his
This is a
best
crazy
movie. That
it
is his
is it
best movie.
is. And then he's got I think more Peacemaker is coming
Oh
out
yeah,
soon,
true.
which he is just he's built for that as well. But
Yeah,
yeah, I recently watched Ricky Snicky and I was like, this movie is freaking awesome.
yeah,
Like I'd
it's
watch this like
hilarious.
five more times in a
The
row.
the whole bit where he's doing his show in Vegas, and the
Or
uh
yeah,
it's like the '80s songs that are like
this
parodied from the
raunchy
yeah.
and yeah,
It's like this is really this is really funny,
yeah.
and yeah. So oh man, that's a great movie.
And like the premise of these friends just lying for this long to
Yeah,
like get out of stuff is just like it's so ridiculous, but
yeah.
it's so funny.
And it's like really raunchy, but it's like
Mhm.
it's a kind of wholesome in some
Oh
ways too.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I
very
mean?
wholesome movie. Yeah,
So yeah, good movie. I rewatch it too.
yeah,
It's a good one.
hmm
Uh, yeah, that's a great one.
yeah.
Let me see. Hold on. Let's
Barely just made it in the year, you know.
yeah, it's because that was so long ago
Yeah.
too. But I've got my letterbox in
Oh,
front
and
of
there
me
we
here.
go. Yeah, I gotta get on Letterbox. I've used for music I've used rate your music and I don't really review
Yeah.
anything. I kind of just go on there to see what people like, but yeah, I got to get excuse me. I have to get on Letterbox to so see how films are turning out. So,
Oh, okay, okay. So
all right.
here's some other big ones.
Okay.
Juror number two this year,
Oh
Nicholas
yeah.
Holt.
Yep.
It's great.
hmm
Okay. It's Clint Eastwood as the director.
This might be his last movie too, right? I've
He's
seen
like
this might be his
in his
last.
90s.
Yeah, he's getting I don't know how he's
But
still making
it's
movies.
kind of like a take on 12 Angry Men.
hmm
It's very good though. It like Nicholas Holt is doing a lot in it, and again, like Year of Nicholas Holt, he's doing so much. He's gonna be in the uh,
Superman.
Superman
Yeah.
movie, and yeah, it's like that guy's coming out of nowhere a little
Yeah.
bit. Gladiator 2 came out with Ridley Scott's
hmm
sequel.
hmm
It's good. I gave it 4, but I was like 4 out of 5.
Yeah.
But I'm like, it's good. Gladiator was the original, came out in 2000.
hmm
It was a Best Picture, and
Yeah.
Russell Crowe
Russell
won
Crowe.
Best Actor.
Yeah.
And this is
That
a
movie's
sequel
pretty
that you're
untouchable.
like, okay, that is such a good movie that you need the sequel to be awesome, or to be like on that level, and it's good, but it's not great.
Well, the movie he did for that was that Napoleon? Did he?
Napoleon,
Yeah.
yeah,
I guess do you
Joaquin
like
Phoenix.
Gladiator? This new Gladiator
This is better than that.
more than that? Okay.
Which I liked that one fairly. It was slow, but the director's cut, which is insane because it's Ridley Scott. Like, give him
hmm
the original cut should be a director's cut,
Yeah.
but yeah, I was like, the director's cut is actually much better.
Hmm.
It adds like 40 minutes, which is a lot,
Yeah.
but I was like, yeah, this is a better movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, not terrible though.
Okay.
Other flops, or not flops, but necessarily, but things that I didn't think were very good.
Yeah.
Joker 2. Uh, that
Yeah.
wasn't very good.
No.
The first one is good. It's a good movie.
See, I was hoping they would go more towards like a perfect like musical movie. I think is like like I really love Sweeney Todd.
Sweet Todd. Okay.
I love if you're gonna do like a musical, do it like that, you
Yeah.
know, kind of thing.
Oh, I like musicals. Like I love
Yeah.
La La Land is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this I want more musical in this.
Yeah.
That's kind of what the issue is for
Yeah.
Joker is that
Yeah.
there wasn't enough.
You didn't commit fully. You know,
Yeah,
I
I
feel
feel like halfway.
because then it feels just like what are these like? What's the purpose of these scenes? You
Exactly.
know?
And that movie, it starts and ends with the characters in the same spot,
Yeah.
where like he doesn't grow. It's the exact same spot he was at the beginning of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
So that Wolves on Apple,
Haven't seen
um,
that. No.
it's George Clooney and Brad Pitt.
Okay.
So like great couple, great cast.
Mm-hmm.
It's like one of those Apple projects where like everything is like super clean